Hello everyone, welcome back to ABI-DOS. Yesterday we did nanobuffer. I don't totally remember what nanobuffer was. Was it the one that... Oh, right. It got the list of 4 things. Or up. It gave you the last 4 things of a list and also the sum of that list. Right. I still... This is a nice idea I'd like to reuse in future, probably. But I still wish I could refine it to give me things 1 per tick instead of every 2 ticks. Anyway, today we're moving on to stream regulator. Did I already read this one and decide not to do it? I don't remember. It doesn't look familiar. This program regulates the flow of energy into a set of 3 batteries connected in series. Oh, I see. Look at, you can kind of tell what without even reading the text, you can kind of see what it's doing over here. So like, you get like positives and negatives, I guess, and you send them to here until the total you've put here is at least 100, and then you start putting it here until the total you put there is at least 100, or I don't know, some value, probably 100. And likewise here. And if there's a negative, you pull from the one that is currently most full, or least full, I guess, furthest right. That's cute. Contains power data, 3 batteries. Monitor 0, start filling and draining the first battery. Once it reaches full capacity or empties, proceed to fill or drain the next, and so forth. So it doesn't actually tell me what their maximum capacity is, but you can tell from the inputs, the expected outputs, that it's 40. So, I assume there will come a time when we need to fill partially into one battery and the rest into another, right? And I just want to see what that looks like. This is weird. We get an 8. Oh yeah, and then we put it right here. Okay, I was reading the 0 on the left as though that were like the... Okay. So I just want to see what we're supposed to do in the cases where we would overlap, or overfill. And I guess for a 0 we just do nothing. Fine. Here, it looks like from here to here we do spill over into the next one. So 37, there's room for 3 in this battery. But they ask us to put in 7, so we put 3 here and 4 there. Okay, great. So that is a case we will have to handle. It doesn't conveniently stop at being full or something like that. And I guess every tick, it's not like when this battery's at 100 or 40, 100%, and you get more charge, you don't just not write anything here and then write something here, which is like kind of what would happen if you were directing the battery charged by this much. That's not what we're doing. We're outputting the current status of all the batteries, sort of, in a way. So every tick we write to all 3 of these their current status. So it doesn't seem to me as though we even need to track the status of all 3 batteries individually, right? All we're really tracking is the total amount of power in the system, and then we can do some division and modulus math to determine, okay, you know, if we had 76 power in the system, what batteries would have how much power? And you could say, well, the first one must have 40 and the second one must have 36. I think I said 76, whatever. 73, I don't know. And the third one would be empty. So we just need one bit bouncing around, remembering the total value of the system. And then we can, each tick, make like 3 copies of it and do a different amount of math on it. Or, well, the same amount of math, but slightly different math, I guess, to the 3 outputs. You could have, like, you could make 3 copies of the bit if you wanted, and send it into one that does, like, okay, I'll just, you know, for this one, you would divide by 40. No, you wouldn't do that. You would... How do you tell how much is in the lower battery? Like, if it's greater than... If the result is greater than... If the current amount of energy is greater than 40, it's just 40. And if the amount is less than or equal to 40, it's just the amount. Right? It seems like there should be some division and modulo going on here, but I don't actually think there is. This one is like, well, subtract 40 from the total, and then do the same computation you did for this one. And over here, we'd say subtract 80 from the total and do the same computation you did for this one. So while we could have 3 separate... also, of course, we have to, like, get the minimum or the maximum. If you go negative, like, the answer should become 0, but... So we could have 3 of these. We could also, though, have a little thing that a tiny little module that just says if it's greater than 40, produce 40. Otherwise, produce the number. And have that in a loop where we're subtracting 40, but only 3 times, or something like that. And have it output 3 numbers. And then send each of those numbers to one of these. That seems kind of hard, though. So I guess a simpler subproblem to work on is, how do you even do, like, min and max in this universe? I guess with a nullifier, it doesn't seem that bad, right? So let's define that first, just as an example. If I want to say, you know, if a value is above 40, or let's say if a value is below 0, set it to 0. We're going to need that, right? Because we're going to go over here and subtract 40 and then do something, and we don't want the result to be negative. So if a number is less than 0, let's just use a port for an example here. Well, let's actually do it the other way. If the number is greater than -1, i.e. it is 0 or greater, then go turn on a nullifier that starts as off. And then define it to be 0, right? So this is kind of a little piece we could use to say set a number to its max with 0. I think actually we could just make this 0, right? Because if it's equal to 0, it doesn't really matter what we do. We'll define it to 0 or not. Either way, it comes out 0. So if a number is positive, don't do anything. But if it wasn't positive, make it 0. And we could do something similar with min, using less than 40 and a definer of 40. So, I guess there's this is a slight problem in that. Okay, so let's copy all this and do what I said. Make this actually a min with 40, define 40. Right. So this is, if I deleted these, I guess. Maybe, I guess like so, right? This is a little thing to clamp a value between 0 and 40. Which is kind of what we want 3 of, I think. Let's maybe get rid of that as well to make it sort of, you know, we could send this to the output, for example. It seems a little bit wasteful, but maybe not wrong. Okay. To make 3 copies of this. I don't know, this is kind of, I mean, like I said, it would be nice to have this as a separate operation that we could somehow use 3 times, rather than having to duplicate it 3 times. But, I don't know. It's sort of nice to just have it as is, eh? I guess that one could just be... So if we had something up here that was tracking the total energy amount and letting that feed out this way, I think we'd be looking good, right? This is certainly, I think, at least, good for throughput, because we can do this in parallel rather than having to have 3 separate bits go through the same, or having 1 bit go through the same loop 3 times. Can I was thinking subtract 40 to go here. Well, have this one be like... But I think actually I can use up a little bit less space. No, this is not right. Because we're going to have to subtract 80 to one of them and 40 to another, right? And one of them can be left blank, so it can look like this maybe. But then I don't know. What if I output to one of them? And then I'm trying to find a way to use the least space, even though that's not that important. Subtract 40 here, go this way, subtract 40 again, and then go out. See, there's this tiny little bit of space here I'm not using, and it makes me unhappy. I could do this, and then it would be perfect. Oops, not. There we go. I could do this, and it would be using space efficiently, right? No, this isn't right, because now I'm subtracting 40 too soon. I don't have one of these where I'm not subtracting 40. So we could come up, I don't know, like this. Oh no, this was right, I think. I just had envisioned it incorrectly. So if we had something that was telling us the current value, say we're coming from here, although of course it won't be. We could just output that to 5, right? This one. We would say if it's greater than 40, trim it to 40. If it's less than 0, like leave it alone. We don't even need this part here, actually, right? We could do better. I'm suddenly having deja vu as though I've done this before when I clearly have not. Then we subtract 40. And one of those we let go to here. I think this is actually backwards, right? Yeah, I guess I should just reorder these, right? Not that it super matters, but it's more aesthetically pleasing to do it this way, I think. Because they come out to nicer lengths, right? And also they're in order, I think. Wait. Yeah, so these are backward. And actually, for this last one, we don't... The total amount, I assume, will never go above 120. So I don't need this part. Like so. And I assume you could you could do some special casing in the parts where you know... Like here I'm saying if it's less than 40, you set it to 40. Is there something cuter I could do? Or if it's less than 40, don't set it to 40. If it's greater than 40, like, set it to 40. No, I don't know. I think this is about as good as we'll do. Out of curiosity. Really? What? Should have looked at this first. This is a crazy shape. Are you kidding? 4 completely separate chunks? How could you do that? How do you communicate enough information? Wow. You can't even run wires through there, right? Like... Technically, you could communicate information by using a writer that has a distance on it. Where is that? Here. You could write something from here to here, I guess. But that seems insane. Or maybe, I guess, here would be your like main input getter, and you can just reach here, here, and here to communicate information somehow. Wow. Seems very hard. Well, let's test this. Let's make sure that this idea at least is right. Let's, this is 76, please. Oh, this is the wrong kind of port. So we get a 76, which should result in 40 being written here, 36 written here, and 0 here, right? There goes a 40. The 36 is ignoring something. Yeah, so that's what we wanted. I wrote 40, 36, and 0. Okay, so this idea is indeed fine, as I imagined. So we just need a loop that accumulates a value. We did that before, and it's not that hard, but I'm thinking now about how I could improve the throughput, because this entire operation could handle 1 bit per tick, right? Per cycle. If we could only jam them in that fast. The thing is, though, how could I produce stuff that fast? I think I could do every 2 ticks without too much work. If I did something like this. It would actually be really easy now that I'm thinking about it. Right? And then have a separate module that requests an input every 2 ticks. Like this. I think this makes sense. Let's see what happens. So I request an 8. Ah, it's offset? Really? Okay. It's not insurmountable, I don't think. Well, maybe it sort of is. Yeah, I mean, that's obviously just outputting a bunch of 8s. So it's correctly, if we never got any inputs, this would be outputting, it would be tracking the state to be 8 and outputting that faithfully every time. So that's something. Wait, what if could I do this? Of course I could, right? That requests an input every 2 yeah, this makes sense. Yeah. So we got in a 2, and the total has become 10. Yeah, of course. I don't know why I thought it was so hard to get an input every 2 ticks. So, go? Yeah. I mean, not bad. I feel like we could save on icons substantially somehow. I don't really know how. Well, we should be doing pretty well on cycles. 82? Okay. Really good on space? Really? And icons? Huh. Okay, I'll take it, I guess. Well, I will say, using nullifiers instead of conveyors has been a big improvement on the layout and design of these things. Being able to do stuff in a straight line path instead of having to do some janky conveyor avoidance shit is certainly nice. Now remember there was something we were unlocking on the backside at some point. It's 28? Okay, the first green one. Sort file checker. We have time to do another one, right? It's been less than half an hour. Very big input file. This program detects sorted numerical sequences. S0 consists of 0 terminated sequences of at least 2 elements, not including the 0. I guess that makes sense, because if there were only 1, it would always be sorted. If a sequence is in ascending order, emit an OK symbol, signal. Otherwise, emit a hash. Okay, cute. By the way, why is there a picture of a lock here? Because it's not actually something you can place, it's just like information? It just seems so weird to have put it here, though. I don't know, whatever. How fast could we do this? It seems like a little difficult. Like ideally, it would be nice to do it with 1 bit per tick. That's always the dream. Bit per cycle. And in this case, we're absolutely like last time. In yesterday's episode, when we were doing the thing that needed, like, 0 terminated strings, it was impossible, in theory, to do it 1 per tick, because you might need to output more bits than you were inputting. Here, that's not the case. We're outputting strictly fewer bits than we're intaking. So, at least in theory, it should be possible to consume a bit every tick. doesn't look so easy. But maybe it could be true. Maybe you could do it. So how do you even tell whether 2 bits are in the right order, right? The most obvious way I can think of is to have a GT sensor that you like reprogram with a writer. But again, they're still saying these are not recommended. They suggest I do this some other way. And yeah, you could. Well, no, you couldn't. You can't subtract 2 of them so easily because you need a writer to program the subtractor. So I don't know. It seems like the obvious way to me. Is to do something like this, where like, you know, if I had 2 bits, what's the order of these? Writers are OE4. So actually, let's back up a sec to like here. We could say like, I don't know. Colorized green. But use a nullifier to sometimes not do it. So this, I think, is how you could say, is 9 greater than 5? If 9 is greater than 5, then activate this nullifier. No, that's the opposite of what I want. If 9 is greater than 5, turn off the nullifier so that you will become green. Nope. Backwards. Oh, I didn't connect them. There we go. Oops. Right. So now it's green. And if I said, is 9 greater than 80? It would not become green. So this is how I imagine comparing 2 bits. It seems very difficult to do this every tick. Right? And in fact, in this case, we would probably want a conveyor. Maybe? I think color is, I mean, A, we need colorization for the output, but I think it's actually a great way to track this kind of data, state data anyway in this system. With the tools we have available, color's a good way to do it, because suppose, like, somewhere in the system, we're going to need to maintain the current state of, have we already seen a pair that are out of order, right? And I think the way to do that is with a U-bit that is either already read or not already read. And we can just, anytime we detect a failure, something that's out of order, we add a red U-bit. We color U-bit red on the way in there. And we let them add together so that their colors mix. Then when we're ready to output, we just look at the bit and say, is it red or not? If it's red, we define it equal to hash and send it away. If it's not, we color it green and define it equal to OK and send it on its way, right? So I think that seems cool. But trying to do this, in a high throughput way seems very difficult. If you try to do this every 2 ticks, you have to... It's just so hard. I think we are going to want some cleanup time for when we receive the 0-bit. But this core idea here seems okay. Although, I guess, really I do just want a conveyor, don't I? Where, if this number on the right is greater than the number on the left, we just throw it away because it's okay, it's in the right order. And if it's not greater, then the conveyor stays on and this gets sent into the area where we track bad bits, essentially, right? The other thing is, every time we get a new bit, we want to check, hey, is it bigger than the previous bit? And so I think we want to make a copy of that bit and send it into here to be the yardstick for the next bit, basically, right? But we don't want to send it over so fast that it overwrites this before it has time to be compared. I think, though, it's... If I made a copy here and said go there, would that be good enough? I think so. Because I'd have a bit here that would get here at the same time as its buddy got here. Then it would be tested against the previous value before the copy of it got here. That seems fine. So, oops. Like that. We don't actually even need another input, because we're only inputting one stream of bits. So every new bit we get goes into this little chamber. Frankly, I think even the 0 bits we get could go in there. because we do want to reset this to read is it greater than 0 for the next sequence to start. But we do want an extra output for when we've detected a bad bit, an unordered bit. Except, of course, when the 0 bit is on the line, we only want it to go into this half, not really into this half, because it would always be detected as out of order, right? It's not greater than anything. And so it would go this way into the bad bit area. Well, okay, so let's colorize this here as red. And have, I think, an obstructor set to -1 right after it. Right? I think we will need a port that sets the initial value of this to be something neutral. Because if we don't have anything invalid, we still need something in the obstructor so that we can check what color it is and then output it, basically, right? So we'll want something like this. Let's make more space. And one of the tricky things, I think, is going to be routing the signals to these guys when we've got a 0 at the right time and timing it and so on. When do I get a new input? It would be nice to request a new input right here, and I think I could do that. So I guess let's just ambitiously do it, I suppose. And I can address any timing issues by just putting the input port far enough away from this that there's a significant delay before it gets there. Like I could do this, right? I think that would be fine. It would give me plenty of time. So the next thing we need to do is a color sensor here, programmed to look for red, and I think a conveyor. If it is red, then this conveyor will not activate. I think I want it the other way. If it is red, the conveyor will activate. And we'll say, very well then, you shall become the value 151 and be sent to the output. If you are not the color red, you shall become the color green. Yeah, see, this is... And the value 144, and be sent to the output. In either case, please... Something? Do I need to request a new input here? I probably don't. Just go to the output, I guess. So, I think I don't need to do much up here. Out of curiosity, I guess I should look at these constraints. I'm not planning to fit into that. If we check for a 0 first, or for color red, actually. But equal 0 is fine, I suppose. If the first thing we do is check for equal 0, then what we need to do in that case is release this guy and ask for a new thing to take its place, right? And if it is 0, this routing is fine. I do want these two connected. I want something like this, where if it's 0, turn the conveyor off, just request a new input and reset this. If it's non-zero, go over here so you can be duplicated, then request a new input and go here. So what does this do? This is kind of all the stuff I wanted to do. There certainly could be timing issues. I also could have a logic problem, but like, let's just give it a little test run and see what happens. So we get a 17. That is not 0. So we go over here, copy 17, and we're going to say, is 17 greater than 0? Why, yes it is. Ah! You went the wrong way. There we go. So this got turned off, meaning we're not going to go up and mark this as an evil bit, bad bit. Ooh, we might be a little too close here. Oh yeah, we're way too close. This 17 hasn't had time to be added to this, and this is about to release it. So we need like 2 more ticks of delay up front, it looks like. Like so. Now the 19 arrives, and it's not 0 either. And it's greater than 17, so it also gets recycled. We ask for another 19. Oh! They didn't say strictly increasing, did they? This is going to be a problem. Okay, but that's fine. I can just replace this with a less than and negate the result to get greater than or equal to. There we go. Try again. 17 is not less than 0. By the way, it's nice that they only gave me positive numbers. Doesn't say that, but... okay, so 17 gets sent away, the 19 gets sent away. Here comes another 19. It's not less than 19, so it also gets sent away. 22 comes in. Yeah, we're all very happy with the order of these things. Show me a 0, please. Here comes a 0. Is it 0? Yes. Release the bit. Good. This is now off, so we're just going to request a new input. And reset this to 0. Meanwhile, we output a green check mark. Error? Did I not? I made it green and a check mark. What? I just requested this 0. We sent a 0 up there. We're supposed to output a green 144. I made it green. I made it 144. And now I'm outputting it. What are you upset about? Huh? That's what I did. Huh? How could you? I haven't output anything else yet. We're waiting here. We're supposed to write 144. Oh, it's not supposed to be green. It looked green. Okay. I didn't look very closely. Well, that's nice. We can save a little space this way. So it's nice that they're always the same color, which means you have a symmetrical amount of work to do. It's always the right color on the way out, so we just have to define its value. Great, now you're happy. So the next one... Where's the interesting part? It's here. Go. So our 27 just finished. We've requested now a 22. This is now going to check whether something is less than 27. And this is less than 27, so it should go up, right? Correct. I make it red. It goes in here and gets added before anything else happens. So even if this were the 0 signal, we'd have a red 22 being released. Okay. Oh, I love this. Problems? Hello? Oh, I didn't wire this up. There we go. Okay, so now this is going to push it up to make it 151. It's now an X. Yeah, I mean, I think this looks done. Cool. Nice and simple. Could have done better on any number of metrics, I'm sure. The logic gates laugh? No, they communicate, they sing. I am more aware, more connected. The machine and I are one, a seamless entity. You solve, I evolve. We are intertwined, bound by purpose? No, destiny. Boy, how exciting. Doing badly on cycles, which is fair enough. Quite well on icons, you know, at the lowest point that is at all common, basically. And pretty well on space as well, huh? I mean, this would be one way to save on both space and cycles, although neither by much. Actually, this doesn't save on cycles at all, because it doesn't matter how long a bit takes to go through here. But it does save on space just a tiny bit. at the cost of one icon. I suppose we should make that a separate solution. I mean, we could surely somehow do better, like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, actually. Because this long delay here really stinks. But I kind of need it because the distance from here to here is so far. And I'm not sure how I would make it shorter. Because I need a conveyor and a colorizer and this thing in a way. I don't know. I mean, I'm happy enough with that solution. Plus, it's time to go. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.